got the Carbon Cub out. Got a Hyperion 322 cell in it, stock prop, and yeah, the wind's pretty much down the runway. And as you saw, I was just doing stationary. If you watch my other videos, I was doing stationary aerobatics with a Beast 3D out here just a few minutes ago. But wind is down a bit since then, and so as the Cub is rolling backwards in it though, so we'll see how the Carbon Cub handles a bit more wind. And of course, as one would expect from a Cub, it surely has a short takeoff run in wind. I've got the CG a little forward on purpose, just to make it a little bit less challenging. Now I'm about half throttle. There's full throttle. It can make headway in this wind. That'll fly what I'd call very Cub-like in this wind. A little bit up trim in there. Forgot to trim up after moving the CG. And there we have his hands off flight right there. His hands. Here, I'll go hands. Yeah, it's true pretty good. On the ailerons, when you're turning into that kind of a wind, you can kind of get under the wing and give you a little roll you're not expecting. Well, there's some stationary flying with the Cub. You know, considering the undercambered wing, it does pretty well. You definitely want to get into the throttle a little bit though when you want to turn too quickly downwind into a wind like that. You could lose lift for a second or two. All the aircraft because of the just for grins, I'm going to go to half flaps and there's half flaps. Definitely got to keep some air under it. Keep some airflow going with those flaps down. Otherwise, you can lose your ailerons. Because just like a lot of full-scale aircraft, especially ones that have STOL type capabilities, you can often fly slower than your ailerons work well. There's a half flap flyby. And so sometimes it's possible when you've got a lot of slow flight equipment. There's half flaps again. Sometimes with a lot of slow flight gear, it's possible to your aircraft can remain airborne at speeds where the ailerons are not very effective. See now, notice how it was behaving in those gusts with the flaps down partway. Now I'm going to turn around. We'll try to deal with similar wind, and you know, it's getting bounced around, but it's more controllable than it was with the flaps down. Definitely, you can see it doesn't like the wind much in the east. Then probably expect the scale. Super Cub, Carbon Cub probably wouldn't like the wind as much as a hot rod unlimited aerobatic plane with a symmetrical wing. Now, boy, I'll tell you, that'd be one heck of a ride if you were full scale. You definitely don't want to be on the wrong side of the power curve when you're doing this stuff. You know, I'm working the throttle constantly, not as much working the elevator. I'm constantly working the throttle as the wind does things. Because an airplane doesn't climb without power. Now it's not getting any closer, so I think it's time to add throttle. Oh yeah, I think it's time to get this thing back a little closer, because we're at about half throttle right now. Give her some throttle as I head downwind. Still haven't gone much over half throttle when I'm coming at myself into the headwind. Let's try that again. See if I can side myself here. That was a prop hit. Had a teeny bit of a crosswind. Let's try that again. This time we'll do more of a into the wind. Nope, that wasn't good. What did I just lose? wheel fairing, strut fairing. No biggie. Doable. Yeah, it's a wind that it can barely make headway in with a stock prop. So for those who want to fly in real high winds, you probably want 50-43 just to speed up. That's my 11-minute timer for the 240 battery, so I've got a few minutes of fun in the wind left with this big old 320. Expected, but it's, you know, the wind is, there's not a lot of turbulence. It's relatively smooth, not completely, but it's smoother than, say, it was a little while ago when I was flying the Beast. Well, let's see if I can do a full stop kind of close to myself and maybe without bouncing all over the place. I'm holding it still so I can grab it before it moves. Well, there's some fun with the Carbon Cub SS in a pretty scary wind for a little scale Cub.